What's up, you guys? Today we're going to be talking about the Chicago Bears and why I think that this season they're going to make a lot of progress. But before we do, if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and let's go ahead and get down to it. So first off, I'd like the Justin Fields hate to come to an end because the way he performed in that preseason opener, he looked like a playoff contending quarterback. He was 3 for 3. He had 129 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, you really can't ask for anything more from your franchise quarterback. I do feel like the Bears are going to find a lot of progress in the offense this season, especially when it comes to the rush game. I think if Khalil Herbert can stay healthy, that's going to be a major factor. Despite him having that hip injury last season against the Lions, he still racked up 731 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 129 carries, even though he did miss 4 games last season. But when you combine him and a mobile quarterback like Justin Fields, the rush game kind of has infinite potential. And besides Khalil Herbert, Justin Fields, the rush game is still pretty solid when you look at just how stacked the Chicago Bears really are at that running back position. For starters, they drafted the rookie Roschon Johnson, who was a solid back out of Texas and also plays that wideout position. They still have Travis Homer, who spent a couple seasons with Seattle, and Dante Foreman, who last year had 914 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 203 attempts with the Panthers. So when it comes to that running back position, Chicago looks pretty unstoppable. And when you look at the receiving core, they look like they're ready to go to war. I'm expecting a lot from DJ Moore. I know last season he only had 888 yards, but that was mainly because of the issues and the identity crisis that Carolina had at the quarterback position. Even despite all of that, DJ Moore still had a career-high 7 touchdowns and 63 receptions. Chase Claypool, another part of this wide receiver unit that I'd like to see have a productive season, and someone who I believe could also become a focal target for Justin Fields. It all depends on whether he can stay healthy or not and have one of those seasons like he did with Pittsburgh where he has 9 touchdowns and possibly become a franchise name wide receiver compared to people like DeAndre Hopkins and Devontae Adams. Darnell Mooney is going to be another key factor when it comes to this wide receiver core making progress. Last season, we know he had an ankle injury, so he only had 493 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 40 receptions. But the year prior to that, when he was healthy, Mooney had 1,055 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 81 receptions, which shows a lot of production if he can stay healthy. And we spoke of Roschon Johnson earlier, the running back who was drafted out of Texas. His primary position is at back. However, he is known for playing that wideout position as well. He's known for those slant plays, and I'm excited to see how he can help the Bears in this wide receiver core move the ball up the field. Tyler Scott is another receiving addition to the Chicago Bears. They drafted from Cincinnati. Last year in college, he had 54 passes, he had 899 yards, and he had 9 touchdowns. That was in his junior year. He skipped his senior year and went straight to the NFL draft. Equanimeous St. Brown. He's a former Packer and another receiver that I would like to see step it up this season. I think he has a lot of potential and the possibility to make some big plays for the Chicago Bears offense. And when I compare him to his brother, Amon-Ra St. Brown, to see what he's doing over there in Detroit, it makes me feel like that being a wide receiver is in these guys' blood. You also get some experienced tight ends in Mercedes Lewis and Robert Tonyan, both tight ends and also both former Green Bay Packers as well. So you kind of got a Packers reunion going on here in Chicago. But Mercedes Lewis, he's a vet. He spent 11 years with the Jaguars. He also spent 4 years under the Rodgers-era Packers. And the same with Robert Tonyan. He had a few seasons with the Lions before also spending a few seasons with the Rodgers-era Green Bay Packers. So both these guys, they have a lot of experience. I feel like they're going to have a lot to offer their locker room. And I feel like these were some excellent selections at tight end for the Chicago Bears. Continuing with experienced receivers that have a lot to offer, Dante Pettis is another one. He's kind of a traveling receiver, though. He spent a lot of time with the Niners where he was drafted. Then he went to the Giants, and now he's with the Chicago Bears. So he's someone that gets around, but he's also someone that I think could be a crucial part of the Bears finding themselves this offseason when it comes to their rhythm and production in the wide receiver core. So Bears are looking all right when it comes to that wide receiver position. Something else I want to talk about really quick is their offensive line. Darnell Wright at right tackle is probably the key factor in this offensive line. Nate Davis, Lucas Patrick, Braxton Jones, if he can stay on the field, Tevin Jenkins, Cody Whitener, their offensive line is looking pretty solid. And then when we take a look at their defensive line, Javon Dexter is someone I'm going to be keeping an eye out this season. He had 42 tackles last season and 2.5 sacks. Zach Pickens at defensive lineman, Justin Jones, Dominic Robinson, DeMarcus Walker, Travis Bell. I mean, Jesus Christ, the Chicago Bears looked crazy defense-wise in that preseason opener against the Titans, who again are a playoff contending team. The Bears defense had 8 sacks. I mean, they played phenomenal. And with the new additions and the improvements the Chicago Bears made over the offseason, I do think it's a realistic possibility of them sneaking into the playoffs. I think it is a possibility that they snag either that 6th spot or that 7th seed in the wild card. I also think with the weapons that Justin Fields has at the receiving core, his pass game is going to develop and improve drastically. And with the depth in the running back position, plus Fields' own rushing and scrambling ability, I think there's a real chance that this year Justin Fields will be in the conversation for MVP. And gonna go ahead and give my quick predictions for the Bears' upcoming season. Week 1 against the Green Bay Packers, I have the Bears taking a W because I think Justin Fields is gonna be a lot better quarterback than Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love is really gonna just be feeling things out and just trying to find his rhythm. Week 2, I also have the Bears taking a W against Tampa Bay. Week 3, I had them taking a loss against Kansas City. Week 4, I also had them taking a loss against Denver. I think the Broncos are going to improve drastically this season. Week 5 against the Commanders, I have them taking a W. Week 6 against the Vikings. This is one of those divisional opponents, and I don't want to just say that Kirk Cousins is completely cooked, but the Vikings offense, they're kind of in shambles. So I'm going to go ahead and give this first encounter that they have with the Vikings, I'm going to give the Bears a W. And then week 7 against the Las Vegas Raiders, I also have the Bears taking a W, especially with the news that we got about Jimmy Garoppolo not too long ago. Week 8 against the Chargers, I really do think that Justin Fields is a talented quarterback, but I don't think he's more talented than Justin Herbert. So I'm going to go ahead and give that to the Chargers. Week 9 against the Saints, I like the Saints a lot. You know, I really like Derek Carr, but with Jimmy Graham getting arrested recently, I'm going to go ahead and get the W to the Bears. Week 10 against the Panthers, again, Bryce Young, I mean, he seems like a really great quarterback, you know, but I think this is going to be his rookie year. It's going to be time for him to find himself. So I'm going to go ahead and give the Bears a W there. When it comes to the Lions, I think they're going to split there. So I'm going to go ahead and give an L to the Bears this encounter. And then I also am going to go ahead and give this game against the Vikings in week 12 an L as well. And then week 13 is the bye week. Week 14, I do have the Bears defeating the Lions. Week 15, I do have the Bears losing to the Browns only because I think Deshaun Watson is going to return back to the prime Deshaun Watson we all seen when he was rolling with the Texans. And then in week 16 against the Cardinals, I was going to go ahead and give the Bears a W. In week 17 against the Falcons, I'm going to give the Bears a loss. And then in week 18 against the Packers, again, I have the Bears closing it out strong and coming home with a W. And I have the Bears finishing 10-7 and either going to the wild card in either the 6th or the 7th spot. But you guys got to let me know what you think about the Chicago Bears. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe. They're looking like a pretty good team. They're looking complete. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Quick edit. I also have the Chicago Bears finishing 2nd in the NFC North. Thank you.